This is incredibly disgusting. There's really no other way of putting it, unfortunately. What's up, agents? Zer here, welcome back to Lab, and today I'm going to be discussing with you guys an incredibly serious topic here, and that is the coronavirus outbreak. And this is some very deadly stuff. There have been people who have lost their lives because of this, which is very unfortunate. I am not gonna lie, it's not a good situation by any means. And the reason why I'm talking about this inside of the lab, inside of Minecraft, is, well, because someone actually made a coronavirus add-on, and I want to go ahead and apologize straight off the bat if any of you guys are sensitive to this kind of stuff and are offended. This is not my intent, and that is not the intent of the add-on creator either, but I feel like this is an interesting way to, in a sense, simulate this sort of thing. What would be like, not only inside of Minecraft, but the kinds of effects this would have in real life. And I realize this is not going to be 100% accurate to real life, but I feel like that for a simulation, it's actually fairly decent. And again, I apologize if any of you guys are offended by this sort of thing. That is not the intent of this video. And this was made by someone by the name of Ciano Kakuna. So huge shout out to them for making this add-on. Make sure to check their links in the description, as well as a link to download this add-on for yourself, if you decide you want to, by the way. And also, if you enjoy this video and you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. So let's get started. And I actually have the mainland quarantined off. And mainly I am in creative, but I just want to be a little bit safe, just in case. Mainly everything's inside of tubes, but that doesn't always necessarily mean anything in real life. But regardless, we're going to start off with the items inside of this chest, and they are a face mask, a loader, and a spray. And as it currently stands, there's no way to get these in survival. There's not like any trading that you can do or any crafting recipe. Maybe they'll change it in the future, I'm not 100% sure. You can, however, get these via commands by using /kit, /function kit, my bad, I apologize. But what these actually do, first off, we're going to be looking at this mask right here. If I go ahead and click on this, it's technically a right click, but as you can tell, it went ahead and put it on my face. I'm going to leave it here for the rest of the video for the sake of aesthetics. Next up, we have this loader, and the idea behind this loader is that it's supposed to be a filter that you would add to your face mask to basically filter out not just the coronavirus, but pretty much any sort of pathogen and anything that would cause you harm, at least by breathing. I guess that's what it's supposed to do, I imagine. But the next best thing that this add-on does in order to simulate that is you eat this, and this is going to give you regeneration to an absorption for an insane amount of time, which I suppose does make a lot of sense. But we also have this spray, and this seems to be some sort of weapon. I was testing it earlier, and in survival as well, by the way. This seems to have infinite uses, and I have only tested on the virus itself. I have not tested it on any other entity, and it takes a lot of this stuff to kill the virus, which I guess makes sense because the viruses or early pathogens in general can be pretty difficult to kill. But at the same time, I did some testing. That virus has a ton of health, so I guess it does make some sort of sense. So let's go ahead and move on into the quarantine lab, and we're going to discuss the rest of this add-on in a little bit more detail. And we're going to start off with the actual coronavirus itself. And yes, it does actually have a spawn egg, by the way. And this is what it looks like. And I realize that in real life, you are not going to see this physically without the aid of maybe a microscope, probably. Maybe something else, I'm not 100% sure. But the way that this is done in Minecraft makes it a little bit easier to see where these guys actually are. So I'm not going to complain about that by any means. Admittedly, a disgusting looking model, but that's, I guess, kind of the point. Admittedly, this is a very morbid add-on, so just take it how you will, I suppose. Next up, we're going to take a look at how this actually spreads. How does this coronavirus actually spread in the game. It makes use of bats, but it's not really just the bats themselves. It actually makes use of a new entity. This is the dead bat, and this is an incredibly disgusting texture and model, but again, like I said, this is not the most pleasant of add-ons. This is a very morbid add-on, so it makes sense that it looks this bad. And this spawns whenever you kill a bat, which actually makes a ton of sense. I mean, it's called a dead bat for a reason. So this actually spreads through this, like I said, but what does it affect? Well, it affects players such as myself, but it also affects iron golems, snow golems, and villagers. And you just have to, like, spawn in a dead bat, or maybe you kill a bat near these entities. I don't really know. Although, admittedly, you probably wouldn't want to, because that's definitely not a good thing to do. But I will go ahead and show you guys what this does. And so it should, there we go. Like, this is incredibly disgusting. There's really no other way of putting it, unfortunately. But yeah, that's literally how it works. And it seemed to do some fairly quick work on that iron golem. Again, there's a ton of these guys in here, which definitely makes things a lot worse. But I've been saying over and over, this is a very morbid add-on, so it makes a lot of sense. So then we actually have, well, we had in there a coronavirus, which I completely forgot to put a fresh one in there, because I want to show you guys a little bit of this spray. So I can go and spawn one of these guys in, and he should not be able to get out. But if I go ahead and, yeah, it does attack him like I said, but it takes a lot of this spray to even kill just one. I believe, I haven't actually tested this yet, and I'm kind of scared to open this tube in order to test it, but I believe this should actually basically attack more than one virus at once. Again, I'm kind of scared to open this for obvious reasons. But yeah, you can tell it does actually do some damage. You can attack this through normal means if you really decide you want to, but I don't know how effective that is. Again, I'm not sure how effective the spray is. But yeah, other than that, that's literally all there is to this particular... And again, I realize this is a very serious issue, but I feel like that educating people on the effects that this kind of thing would end up having, even though it's not going to be 100% accurate to what happens in real life, I feel like is a decent way to show people what kind of effects this thing would end up having. But yeah, other than that, this is actually where I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. One more, make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCPU0 to stay updated. This has been Zer0's. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I'll see you guys later.